Hi. I've come to the understanding over the years that one of the ways that the divine spirit and Mother Earth herself communicate with us is through her creatures and animals. This has happened to me all my life, but it's the last few years it's really become obvious to me. I should probably point out that I have a little bit of native heritage on my mother's side. And my mother, she, well, I think I'm the only person in the family that knows this. She said she pestered a medicine woman when she was a child. There's a medicine woman that lived near her, and my mom said she pestered her for weeks until this woman kind of took my mom under her wing and agreed to teach her. And my mother was extremely gifted. I kind of mentioned this. I did a video on crows that I kind of outlined mother's gifts. I mean, she was extraordinary. I'll tell you one thing that, I'll point out one thing though. She cut my hair when I was growing up, all my life, really, until she passed away. When I was like 12, 13, my hair started getting curly. And my mom would cut my hair, and she kind of, before she'd actually start cutting it, she'd kind of play with it and stuff. And oh, you're so lucky, kind of fluff up my hair. Oh, you're so lucky you have curly hair. I always wanted curly hair when I was young. And I'm like, yeah. She's going, can I make a pillow out of your hair? It'd be so soft. Like, no, mother, you cannot make a pillow out of my hair. But the thing is, after she passed away, I noticed it a week after she was gone that my hair started going straight. And after a month, it's like it is now. And I also started losing 1 to 2 pounds of weight for over 5 years. I went from like 234, 235 area to about 155. And my dad got real thin too, and she was magic. After her funeral, a bunch of the people met at the house, and as they're leaving, went outside, and I heard some shouting outside, and went outside, and there's a double rainbow right out front. That whole day had been raining and drizzling, and typical Oregon winter, fall day, and sun came out just a little bit, stopped raining, and double rainbow. So she was incredibly gifted. And if you're interested, I suggest I did a video on crows that kind of expanded on when I write a book, she'll figure prominently. And I was a different little kid too. I had help. I needed help growing up because there's like forces against me that I didn't really understand. My brother pushed me through the front window of our house when I was 2.5, and I had a fairy god. I thought of her as my fairy godmother. He pushed me through the window, and my fairy godmother said, cover your head, curl up in a ball. Cover your head, curl up in a ball. It was telepathic communication. And that's what I did. And, brother did try to cut off my toes one time. We had a station wagon. It was called a Barracuda. It was a station wagon. And we were going somewhere, and I had all my toys in the cargo area, and had a fold-down back seat. And I had my right foot in that gap. I kind of noticed my brother on the other side of the seat kind of looks at me, looks at my foot. I look at my foot. I look at him. He gets the meanest look on his face. He's just going to push that forward. My fairy godmother said, do not pull your foot out. You could cut off all your toes. Push your foot in as far as you can. So that's what I did. And, well, as soon as I saw that, his face get all mean, I started screaming. And it hurt, but I kept my toes. And, my fairy godmother, she'd help me when I get mad, too. There's one time I was in the backyard, I was 2 or so, and one of my mom's friends came by and kind of interrupting my mom time. See what happened, I was a lot younger than all the other kids. The step kids were 12 years or more older, and my brother was 6 years older, so he started school when I was born. So me and Mom hung out all day. One of my mom's friends was over there, so I was kind of grumpy. And fairy godmother said, "Are you mad?" I go, "Yeah." "Why are you mad?" And I didn't really know. It's probably interrupting my mom time, so I was probably a little jealous. Anyway, and so she goes, "Well, your mom, she's real good friends with your mom. And your mom likes her a lot too. So she goes, I think if you went in there and talked to her, you'd like her also." So that's what I did. I went and talked to her, and I did. So that's how my fairy godmother helped me all through childhood. And I do get help. It's not something you really like to talk about. You don't want to tell people, "Hey, I'm getting telepathic communication from a higher source." People look at you. So I never really mentioned it until the last few years. But yeah, she helped me all through childhood. And so, but anyway, this is animal communication, how they talk. And one of the first times that really became obvious was me and Mom were snowed in. We're in the Dalles. I was born in the Dalles. It's right on the Columbia Gorge near the east of Mount Hood. We were snowed in and nothing was moving. We lived kind of on a hill, and we had kind of a terraced backyard. And I looked out that window, and there's like 25 of these yellow birds up there, just perfectly arranged on the hill. It's like a terraced hill, and there's trees and stuff, and they're just all perfectly arranged. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. And Mom was the only person at the house at that time. And, "Mom, come here." She walks in, looks out, and she's, "Oh my heavens, that's the most beautiful. I think that's the most beautiful things I've ever seen. This is just heaven. And we're kind of I'm looking at her, and she's looking at me, and we just watched them, and after a while, one by one, they just kind of flew away. And we were just kind of, wow, it was really amazing. So it's one of those things, I bring it up every once in a while. I bring it up to Mom. "Hey, do you remember all those birds that time?" She's like, "Yeah, that's really amazing." It really was. But yeah. But that was that. And we had my dad was, the tragedy about this, my father was an extreme narcissist, and the other kids kind of took after him. My brother especially, and they didn't really want, my father didn't want another animal in the family, because he's a narcissist. It takes attention away from him. He didn't see any value for an animal. But we eventually did get one. My mother found out one person my father couldn't say no to, or had one person in the universe he had trouble saying no to. That was his brother. And my mother found out his brother was had puppies. His dog had puppies. So my mother scheduled that we visited them out of state. And he goes, "Hey, you want a puppy?" And yeah. My dad was like, well, okay, I guess. So I picked out a dog. I was the one that picked him. It was Cocker Spaniel, a whole litter of Cocker Spaniel poodles. Poodle mix. And there's like 5 of them. They're full grown. And they're big. And there's one little tiny one. He's a runt. I mean, he's about a third the size of the other dogs, maybe less. But he has spot of white in his chin and a spot of white in his chest. That one. I want that one. And that dog's a wizard. It takes a wizard to know a wizard. And that dog was smart as a whip. It talked, and I learned to communicate with him out of necessity. I taught him to sit, and it took about 10 minutes to teach him how to sit. And to shake hands, it took maybe 15. And he remembered it all his life. And I was thinking, well, I tried to teach him to roll over a little bit, but he didn't really want to. So I thought, you know what? You don't have to roll over for anyone. So I didn't kind of quit training him there. But it was so easy. We had a connection. There's one time he took a nip at my dad when my dad was getting really aggressive. And our dog soon developed a limp that never left him the rest of his life. So I told him, do not ever do that again. He'll kill you. That's my job from now on. So kind of fell on me to kind of police this stuff. Here I'm 7, 8. But that's a whole other story. This animal communication. And this will be a lot about what I can verify. If you have on my Facebook or YouTube, you'll be able to see these. But the first thing there's a bird that hit our window when I was a kid. It's a bam, hit the window, and didn't know what it was. I ran outside, and this little bird was on the ground. I thought it was dead for sure. It was kind of on its right chest, and its right wing was kind of partially out, and its head was tilted to the left. I don't know. Me and Mom were the only people home when it hit the window, and I stopped about 3 feet away because I thought, oh, she's gone. This poor bird's dead. And Mom just kind of ran by me and didn't hesitate. She just bent down, oh, poor baby, and she kind of scooped it up in a way, and she's holding it in her hand. I was standing behind her, kind of holding my breath because I didn't know what was happening. I could hear her whispering, and when she turned around, the bird was standing in her left palm, just standing there. She goes, oh, she's just stunned. So I have this on Facebook. It's June 3rd. You can, if you're on Facebook, and if YouTube, you can find it on YouTube there too, on my YouTube channel. But yeah, and I go, oh, I need to get the camera. So I ran in the house, and Mom was walking her to we had a corkscrew tree. And I took a couple of pictures. And when I got up there with the camera, my Mom kind of tilted her hand and this little bird, it just walked right to the end of her thumb and sat down. It's like, ready to pose. And, the thing is, that was the first time an animal posed for me. This would go on, well, you'll see. Look for yourself. It would go on quite a lot. That was the first time. So you can see that June 3rd. And this is kind of stuff that we can verify. If I did every animal thing, it would be hours and hours long. But it really started becoming obvious that I was being communicated with on a spiritual level, when I got a condo, I got a little bit of a inheritance. First time in my life I had the ability to choose or had any kind of security at all. Yeah. So I got a condo that I later sold. Later turned out to be really kind of toxic. But this time I moved in. It was in Salem, South Salem. And for somehow, some way, a wild turkey found its way to my house. I mean, this complex is a condo complex. It's surrounded by fence on 3 sides. One side's kind of open, but it has houses all around it. I mean, it's a condo complex surrounded by upper middle class houses. And for some reason, this wild turkey found its way to my house. It would sit by my car for hours. It was like it was guarding my house. It wouldn't let any other animals near. It would sit by my car, and I'd come out and she'd kind of look at me. I have few videos of her, but I have probably more than half a dozen. I'll have to put them on YouTube. Yeah, she's like my pet turkey. And I looked up the meaning of spiritual meaning, and the spiritual meaning is togetherness and sharing and community and friendship, and that's exactly what I've needed at that time. I kind of still do. It's been a whole life kind of alone, living like a monk, a hermit. My whole life, and even today, unfortunately. So, and this turkey, it has spiritual meaning. My mother, too, she grew up in a town. She was born in a town called Turkey. Grew up in a town here called Turkey, so. And I remember one time I was coming downstairs. I think I was going to go into town to do something. I saw the turkey outside, and I thought, well, I don't want to bother her if she's out there eating bugs or something, So I just sat down at the computer, and I hear tap, tap, tap. That's weird. On the wall. And tap, 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 tap. I look outside, and this turkey's outside tapping on the side of the house. It's like, go outside. It's a beautiful day. What are you doing in here? Go outside. It's like, all right, I'll go out. So that was this. And the animals, one of the ladies that lived there, she would throw out seed. And there's a parade of different birds. I remember one time, excuse me, there was I'd see doves. I don't date a lot. I'm a hermit. I don't meet a lot of women. So, but I was going to a meditation in town, and when I was about ready to leave, I saw 4 doves. Wow, 4 doves? That's interesting. And I've found out that kind of means that I'm going to meet someone. I went to that meeting, and there are at least 4 attractive, seemingly available women there. Wow, I don't have any game. I didn't I didn't get really talk to any of them. And I kind of noticed that another time. I was leaving one day, and there happened to be a lone dove there, and I went to a store, and there's an attractive woman that I think she wanted to get to know me better. But I kind of noticed the correlation, what was happening in my life and what the animals were doing. But I can't go into all of them because this will be way too long. I'm trying to keep this short. But when I moved out of that condo and I came to this place where I have 5 acres here. I mean, I feed 100 birds a day. But the first day I came here, first night I spent, I had to camp because I didn't have my house set up or anything like that. As I was leaving, you can see this is August 27th, 2020. I came out, there's hundreds of the same birds on the power lines here. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime event. I have not seen that since. Anything close. And they're all there. I mean, they're all flying around me. I've gotten better at taking videos. I used to take short videos because I didn't know how to edit. But I have 3 short videos, and see for yourself. I mean, they're all flying around me, and it was amazing. First day here, once in a lifetime event. And that's like, well, they're like welcoming me, I think. And there's a couple things. And one of the other things that I first noticed when I lived here, there's a blue heron. I saw it across the valley, all the way across. I go, wow, is that a heron? I saw it another time. I thought, well, I'd like to get a picture of that. And I kind of stopped in the road and it gone by. I thought, well, it's going to be really hard to get a picture of that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. A couple days later, I look out my window and I have a creek that runs through here about 10 months out of the year. There it was, sitting in the creek. Wow! So I got a video. You can see that, April 7th. You know, I only saw that blue heron one other time after that, and I haven't seen it since. So, you know, if you're around, I'd like to see you again. And there's October 9th of 2020. Went to Lincoln City, and place I was going was closed, so I was coming back, and this is Highway 101. This is really busy. Even in the off season, it's busy. And it just happened that I came around this corner. It's right near a popular wayside, right on the coast there and these 3 deers, they were just standing there, right in the right side in the white line. It's like they were waiting for me. A mom and 2 doe. Holy mackerel. I stopped, immediately hit the 4-way flashers. I kind of looked in my mirror and made sure I was going to get smashed. Luckily, everyone saw, and I just crawled forward really slow, like a mile an hour, till my car was completely off the road, and they kind of moved forward, and then I slowly got in the car and kind of put up my hands, and the mom and one of the doe kind of went to the right, off the road, and the other one kind of got a little spooked a little bit. It was about ready to head into the road, and I just went, no, go back to mama. I held out my hand like a fence, no, go back to mama. And she did. I got a couple of pictures there, and got them off the road, and so they were safe. But 3 weeks later, I gone into Lincoln City. I was going through the Burger King. I don't eat fast food. I can't afford it anyway. But Burger King drive-through, and it's built on that. Burger King's built on a hill, and the drive-through has a 15-foot retaining wall. I just ordered, and I was just about ready to drive through up, and I hear bam. And I kind of look forward, and I see this deer in front of me. It's shaking its head like crazy. And I go, what's going on? I couldn't understand what I was seeing. And what this deer had done, it had fallen head first in the car in front of me, doing significant damage to the rear roof and door. It caved in the back part of this woman's. It was a 4-door, and the back door was kind of messed up. It messed up the frame and everything. But it went head first into this. And I kind of got out of my car. I stopped my car immediately, and I completely, right in the drive-thru lane. And well, me and some other people, one of the ladies, nice ladies from the bird team, we're all kind of shocked. And the guy behind me, he was kind of helping out too. So we kind of got her off the road. But I got a picture of her. She had it. I go, "What are you doing? You're gonna hurt yourself doing that." I so wanted to go up and touch her head. But I didn't want to scare her. But, that was wild. But 3 weeks later, I'm coming home one night, and I see 3 deer. They looked like the same deer. It really did. I saw them a couple times after that. I wasn't quick enough to get a picture, but it looked like them. And I'm 20 miles, I'm like 25, over 25 miles inland. So, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, there was that. And I was leaving to go, a friend was having an event across the country. And I was kind of nervous. I don't fly a lot. This is the first time I'd flying alone, so I was a bit nervous. And as I was leaving, there's, I don't know, all these elk were lined up on the hill. It's like they're like my bonfire. They're like wishing me a good trip. I think I'm driving out, I'm leaving to the airport, and they're all just kind of standing there watching me. It's like, all right, that's happened before. The first time I bought a motorcycle, I needed something that was dependable, that had a warranty, so I thought, I'll buy a new motorcycle. And back when I bought it in the 80s, you can get them fairly cheap. They weren't status symbols back then. But when I was kind of nervous to get out in the highway. First time I'd ever driven, first time I driving in a highway, and I was kind of nervous. And I was getting on the freeway, there's a blue heron flew right over the top of me. Wow, that's weird. So whenever I see something like that, that's the spirit telling me, don't worry, you got this. So all those elks on that, you got this, don't worry. And I was trying to get this picture of the turkey bull. I'd taken pictures of 30 different types of birds from my front window. And I was trying to get a picture of this turkey vulture, but they're too high up. And so I went outside one day, and this is too hard. And my zoom didn't really work, so I thought, well, I'm probably never gonna get a picture of them. I was going into town the next day, right after thinking this, and it's about a 45-mile-an-hour kind of turn, kind of a sweeping right-hand turn, and a turkey vulture flies right up in front of me, right in front of me. Wow, like 8 feet away. Holy cow, it looked at me as it flying. It's like, wow, that's way too close. I can't take a picture of that. You're gonna get hurt doing that. It's so strange. That's never happened to me before. These birds are smart. They see the demise of other creatures. They don't repeat the same mistake. So for one of them to do that and right in front of me, that's kind of unique. So, no, that's too close. I can't. So the next day, I'm looking at the window. I see a turkey vulture land on the no trespassing sign out here. I took about 10 pictures, and then it left. It just flew. It was like waiting for me to take those pictures, and it took off. See, the thing is, turkey vultures don't come to the ground unless they have a reason, because they are big. It takes a lot for them to get off the ground. I kind of surprised the other place I lived at. I came around the corner, I surprised one, and it took off from the ground. It surprised me. It sounded like, I heard whoomp, 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 sound like a helicopter. These big wings, whoomp, whoomp, whoomp. But yeah, it just came down, let me take some pictures, and it took off. And the same thing happened with the eagle. I was driving down Highway 18. I looked in the trees and I saw the bald head of a bird. And I thought, wow, is that an eagle? It's so weird. You know, I really don't know that I've seen an eagle in Oregon all the time. And fly so high up, I probably have. But one that close, I don't think I've ever seen one. I thought, wow, that looks like eagle. And I went that same area. A couple days later, I saw the white tail. I said, wow, that is an eagle. And I said to the spirit, to the ethereal ether, I said, hey, could you come over to my house so I can get a picture of you? A couple days later, I'm looking, and there's an eagle circling. I got a video of it. You can, where is it? I got April 3rd here. And the turkey vulture is May 17th. But the eagle is there too. Wow, thanks. There's another one. There's a bunch of them, but these are the ones I can kind of verify. I saw a Cassin's finch here one day. When I started feeding them, I got a lot of the little birds. A lot of bigger birds kind of taking over. But the first time I'd ever seen it, it's a Cassin's finch. It has a red head. It's really unique and stands out. So, wow, I got a picture of it here. Then I went to the coast, and I got a little video of them. The same type of bird. I think they were probably migrating that time of year. But it's so weird. First time I'd ever seen one here at my house. The next day I go to the coast and I get a little video. That's April 28th, 2021. I have one of an owl too. I have a video about crows. Nothing but crows, crow messengers. And this is on that video, but I should put it here too. I got an email from a person that I had reason to suspect was not trustworthy. So I looked at this email. I thought, I'm not going to respond to this. I'm going to think about this a little bit. So I went up the hill up in the trees, and I heard crows going nuts. A whole bunch of crows. Murder of crows. A whole bunch of crows called a murder. So murder talks. Well, I'm going to hear what they have to say. So I'm looking up there, and I see an owl. And crows and owls don't like each other. And there's owls just sitting there. It's on a limb. I thought, okay, that's weird. What's the meaning of that? And so meaning owls are kind of see-through illusion, and so kind of for me that meant that email. Well, I probably should not trust that person. I'm probably right not to trust them. But anyway, I was watching. I got the picture. I wish I should have took a video because it flew right over the top of me. After I got done with the pictures. So, wow. And you know what? I had no idea how big they were. I mean, it rivaled a turkey vulture in wingspan, I think. It was, and it's just big and huge, and the color of the feathers underneath is so beautiful. Varying shades of brown and white, and it was completely silent. This big, huge bird just flying over, just no sound at all. It was amazing. I really wish I had got a video of it. But that's how the answer's in. This one time, okay, this is May 10th. I think the Cassin's finch is April 28th, 2021. And the deer is October 14th. I think that's 2020. And April 14th with the elk. But there's one May 10th. Squirrel. I had worked at a hazelnut processing plant for 20 years, so I'd been around farms and hazelnuts and hazelnut orchards and stuff like that. So I've seen a lot of ground squirrels. And one day I saw one here. It's the first time I've seen one here. I was like, wow, I can't believe it. And I laughed. And this is May 10th. And right when I laughed, there's an orb formed. I mean, you can see for yourself. April 10th, squirrel. I call it Joy the squirrel. And my hand shook when I saw it. I thought it was a hummingbird. So you can see the camera kind of shook a little bit. And I didn't know what it was till I looked at it later, but it looked like an orb. Wow. And there's a chipmunk. I said, this is recent. I don't have the date on it, but you scroll down. I saw a chipmunk roam. Wow, is that a chipmunk? Yeah, I got a couple pictures out there, but not very good ones. Wow, I really like it. So one day I'm looking out, it came right up to the house. I have a branch on my power pole here. It's something for the birds to, like perch on. Well, so I can take pictures and stuff. But this chipmunk crawled up there one day and he was kind of looking around. It came back down. It kind of paused so I could get a picture of it. And then where'd it go? Hey, I haven't seen it since. And there's another red-winged blackbird. First time I ever saw a red-winged blackbird was that I took an animal communication class. The first day of that class, that was the first time I saw a red-winged blackbird. And I really dig these birds. I looked them up, and they only attack other predatory birds, other nest stealers. That's the only bird they attack. They're kind of like the bird that punches the bully in the nose. They're like the bird that picks on the bullies. So I really enjoyed seeing them. That was it. But I have a lot of them. There's a goats came by one day, and I made a deal with the wasps. When I first moved in, I wasn't getting power. I didn't understand why. I called a maintenance guy to come out and looked at my power box. It's full of wasp nests. So this guy's allergic, and so he actually had some spray. So we're spraying in there, and felt bad about killing all the wasps. But they need a new home, and I saw them on my house. They're making nests on my house. I thought, I made a deal. I said, okay, here's the deal. You stay out of my house, you stay out of my car, and you don't sting me, and we got no problem. I'll let you hang out, do what you do. I had 2 nests right by my door, either side of my door. I had 4 nests in my place. They never bothered me. I had 2 nests 6 feet from my door and never bothered me. So, anyway, I'm running out of time. I hope you like this, and I'll do more. I'll do more extensive one, but anyway, I just think that divine talks to us with their creatures and animals, so pay attention. They're talking to you. If you look, if an animal makes itself known to you, it's trying to get your attention, and so pay attention. The divine is speaking. So, bye. Love you.